When you can't stop someone fairly, you stop them any way you can. The Oklahoma City Thunder came into Game 2 with a scouting report that had nothing to do with basketball. Grab him, hold him, foul him hard, get in his head before he gets comfortable. Hartenstein was pulling jerseys, Dort was throwing elbows, Ska was flopping on every possession, and for one half it actually worked. But nobody told them what happens when Wemby stops being patient and starts being angry. The blueprint, how teams ARE trying to neutralize the alien. There's a moment in every playoff series where the weaker team reveals their real strategy. It's not a play. It's not a scheme. It's a decision. We can't beat him clean. So we won't play clean. OKC came into Game 2 having watched the tape from Game 1 where Wemby put Ska on a poster in overtime and nearly single-handedly won the series opener. And their response wasn't to scheme him differently, it was to physically punish him every time he touched the ball. Hartenstein, the big, physical center, started grabbing Wemby's jersey on every possession. Not subtle holds, full grabs. Clenching, pulling, using every pound of his size advantage to throw the 7'4" frame off balance. The broadcast called it out immediately. He has all the weight, he's just holding, he's grabbing, he's clenching. And it wasn't just Hartenstein. Isaiah Joe threw himself on the floor, no contact, like he got hit by a freight train. The Thunder were drawing fouls out of thin air, manufacturing calls, turning a basketball game into a street fight with referees present. Meanwhile, Skay came out on a mission, right away aggressive, contested shots that went in anyway, pulling up in transition, getting to the line. 11 points in the second quarter alone to push OKC to a double-digit lead. The dirty tactics were working, the lead was growing, and the Spurs looked lost. But then, Wemby had enough. The alien responds 2 blocks in 20 seconds. There's a moment in every great performance where the switch flips. For Wemby in Game 2, it happened in the second quarter. Ska drives baseline, Wemby erases it. Clean. Ska attacks again. 20 seconds later, Wemby erases it again. 2 blocks. Same player. 20 seconds apart. The refs whistled the second one as a foul. The Spurs challenged. The call was overturned because it wasn't a foul. It was just Wemby being Wemby, and the officials weren't ready for it either. But Oki kept finding new ways to manufacture calls. Caruso flopping, Ska launching himself sideways after shots with nobody near him. Watch this, he puts more effort into falling than actually trying to make the basket. The dirty tactics piled up. The fouls piled up. And OKC went into halftime up 11. Then came the gut punch. Jalen Williams, already dealing with a hamstring issue, re-aggravated it in the second half and was ruled out, gone for the game. Then Dylan Harper goes down awkwardly on a drive, grabs his hamstring, and he's done too. The Spurs were missing Fox, now Harper, now Williams. 3 key pieces, gone, on the road, down 11. Against the MVP, any other team folds right here. The Spurs went on a 15-2 run. The 15-2 run, Wemby ties it with that look on his face. This is what separates good teams from great ones. No Harper, no Fox, no Williams. 3 starters down. And the Spurs came out of halftime and dismantled OKC's lead possession by possession. Wemby from the top, Hartenstein guarding, drills the 3 anyway. Then Harper works inside before his injury and finishes through contact. Bell hits from the corner. Then Wemby, pulled down by the jersey by Hartenstein, still gets the offensive board, puts his head down and drills the triple. The deficit is down to 8, then 5. Then Wemby caps the 15-2 run and ties the game. And the camera caught his face at that exact moment. That look. The one where he's not celebrating, not screaming, just staring down the court like he's calculating the next 10 possessions. That's the most dangerous version of Victor Wembanyama. Not the one who's excited, the one who's locked in. Then, because apparently 15-2 wasn't enough, he follows it with a ridiculous putback slam. Then turns around and blocks Caruso's layup attempt with his right hand on the other end. Dort loses his mind on the sideline, almost picks up a technical. The arena is shaking, but OKC had one more punch to throw. Hartenstein pulls hair and the game gets ugly. The fourth quarter of Game 2 stopped being a basketball game somewhere around the 8-minute mark. Hartenstein and Castle battle for a rebound, and Hartenstein grabs Castle by the hair, physically yanks him down to the floor. No call. The broadcast froze for a second. Because what do you even say about that? We're not choosing ways anymore. It's a fight till the last hair. This is what desperation looks like in the playoffs. When the scheme stops working, when the flopping stops drawing, calls you grab a man by his hair and pray the referee looks away. Meanwhile, Jared McCain shooting 4 of 14 from the field banks in a wild 3 to keep OKC breathing. McCain has made a career this series out of making shots he has no business making. OKC built the lead back to 13 in the fourth. The Spurs short-handed, exhausted, playing their third playoff game in less than a week kept fighting. Castle hits back-to-back threes. Johnson converts a tough layup and a corner 3 in transition. Vell from deep cuts it to 5. And then Shea commits his 5th foul. Offensive foul. The Spurs have a chance to make it a one-possession game with a bucket. Castle throws a rush pass to Champagny. Out of bounds. Turnover, his 9th turnover of the game. Combined with 11 from Game 1, Castle becomes the all-time leader in conference finals turnovers in NBA history. All-time leader. In the wrong category. On the biggest stage of his young career. And Ska made sure the Spurs paid for it. The dagger A&D what this series is really about. With the game still alive, Ska pulled back and hit the dagger. Cold, calculated, no hesitation. Castle missed the answering 3. Caruso sealed it on the other end. OKC wins Game 2. Ska finishes with 30 points and 9 assists on 50% shooting, bouncing back from a subpar Game 1 like a true MVP. But here's what the box score won't tell you. The Thunder needed jersey grabs, hair pulls, flops, and manufactured fouls to beat a Spurs team missing 3 starters. They needed every dirty trick in the book just to survive. And Wemb2, despite all of it, finished with 21 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 blocks. 17 rebounds, with Hartenstein holding him on every single possession. Imagine what those numbers look like when nobody's grabbing his jersey. The Spurs are down 2-0. They're missing Fox and Harper. The series looks bleak on paper, but this team has been written off before. Every round, every series, and they keep showing up. The question isn't whether Wemb2 is good enough. The question is whether OKC can keep getting away with this. The Thunder grabbed his jersey, pulled his teammate's hair, flopped on every possession, manufactured foul after foul. They did everything except play basketball, and Wemb2 still finished with 21 points and 17 rebounds. Down 2-0. Missing Fox. Missing Harper. This Spurs team has every reason to quit, and Wemb2 will keep showing up every single night until this league figures out that there is no tactic, no grab, no foul, no flop that stops what's coming. If this breakdown had you fired up, hit that like button. Subscribe because Game 3 is in San Antonio and the Spurs have everything to prove. And the next video is already up. Don't sleep on it. See you there.